These are noble gases. We know noble gases are very stable. They do not undergo any chemical reaction. This is the reason why they are also called as inert gases. They have stable electronic configuration since they satisfy octet rule. Except helium, all other elements, all other noble gases, they have 8 electrons in their valence shell. As an exception, helium has only 2 electrons in their outer shell, and it shows duplate structure, which is nothing but stable electronic configuration. So this stands that all these elements, they follow octet rule. What octet rule states? Octet rule states that all atoms tends to have 8 electrons in their valence shell, which is very stable electronic configuration. Atoms of all other elements other than these noble gases, they have either short of 8 electrons or in excess of 8 electrons. So atoms always tend to have 8 electrons in their outermost shell. For that, either they lose electrons or they gain electrons, or sometimes they share electrons. Accordingly, they form 3 different types of bonds. That is ionic bond, covalent bond and coordinate bond. So we'll learn first about ionic bond. Imagine if there are 2 persons sailing in a boat. One person has some extra balls and another person has some lesser balls. So the boat starts to sinking towards a person who is carrying extra load, so towards this side. So in order to balance the boat, this person has to transfer some of the balls to this person. Then only the boat can be stabilized. So something similar like this happens with atoms as well. So I am representing here sodium and chlorine atoms with electron dot structure. So what is electron dot structure? It is the representation of symbol of the element which is surrounded by dots, which shows the number of electrons present in outermost shell. So the symbol of atom surrounded by dots represent electrons present in the valence shell. Now, so we have sodium, its atomic number is 11. So its electronic configuration is 281. The number of valence electrons in sodium is 1. So I have represented that 1 electron with 1 dot here. Chlorine, its atomic number is 17. So electronic configuration is 287. So there are 7 electrons around chlorine atom. Now, to attain stable electronic configuration, sodium atom loses its 1 electron. It transfers its 1 electron to chlorine atom. When it loses its 1 electron, it becomes Na+. And the chlorine atom, it gains that 1 electron to become stable, and after gaining 1 electron, it forms chloride ion, that is Cl-. So in physics you have studied that unlike charges attract each other. So the positive ion attract towards negative ion. So they start attracting each other. Hence they come closer and form a new compound, that is sodium chloride, that we can represent as NaCl. So this is what the electron dot structure of sodium, formation of sodium chloride. Now, so sodium chloride is here ionic compound, or it is also called as electrovalent compound. What is ionic compound? The chemical compound formed as a result of the transfer of electrons from one element to another, from one atom to another, are called ionic or electrovalent compounds. So why do we call these ionic compounds as electrovalent compounds? This is because the cations and anions are formed during the formation after the transfer of electron from one atom to another. So the atom which loses electron, it becomes positively charged, and the atom which gains electron becomes negatively charged. So there is an ion formation. Because of this reason, ionic compounds are also called as electrovalent compounds. Okay. So in ionic compounds or electrovalent compounds, as we know, the ions are formed, oppositely charged ions are formed, and these ions are constantly attracting with each other. So there exists some force of attraction, and that force of attraction is called electrostatic force of attraction. So the ionic compounds are formed by the transfer of electrons from one atom to another atom. When there is losing of electron or by gaining of electrons, there is a formation of oppositely charged ions, and those charged ions are constantly attracting each other by means of electrostatic force of attraction. So here we will learn one more new word, that is electrovalency. What is electrovalency? It is the number of electrons that an atom of an element loses or gains during the formation of electrovalent bond. See, so in sodium chloride, sodium atom, it loses one electron. So its electrovalency is 1. Similarly, chlorine atom gains one electron. So its electrovalency is 1. So electrovalency is the number of electrons that an atom loses or gains to form an electrovalent bond. Okay, so this is what the electron dot structure of magnesium chloride. We know that the electronic configuration of magnesium is 282. Atomic number is 12. Since atomic number is 12, its electronic configuration is 282. So I have represented those two valence electrons by two dots here. So it transfers one electron to one chlorine atom and another electron to another chlorine atom. So by doing so, both magnesium and chlorine atoms get stabilized. They attain octet structure. So magnesium, after transfer of its two electrons to two chlorine atoms, it turned into magnesium ion, that is Mg plus 2. And each chlorine atoms, by gaining one electron each, they turned into chloride ions. Since again there is formation of oppositely charged ions, they attract each other, they come closer and form a new compound, that is magnesium chloride, which we can represent as MgCl2. One atom of magnesium combines with two atoms of chlorine. So it is MgCl2. So the next ionic compound we are taking here, it is calcium oxide. So how do this calcium oxide is forming here? So that we will learn now. Calcium, its valence shell, there are two valence electrons, so that I have represented by two dots. Oxygen, there are 6 valence electrons, so I have represented 6 dots around oxygen. So to attain the octet structure, calcium transfers its 2 electrons to oxygen. Then calcium turned into Ca plus 2, and oxygen, after gaining 2 electrons, it turned into oxide ion, that is O2 minus. Since here plus 2 and here minus 2, they are oppositely charged. They attract each other. There is a strong electrostatic force of attraction between these two ions. So they come closer and they form a new compound, that is calcium oxide. A new ionic compound, that is calcium oxide, which we can represent it as CaO. One calcium atom combines with one oxygen atom. So it is calcium oxide. So the meaning of ionic compound or electrovalent compound definition is important here. So in ionic compound, there is always transfer of electrons from one atom to another atom, and when there is a transfer of electrons, there is resulted in oppositely charged ions. Those ions are strongly attract each other by means of electrostatic force of attraction. So this is what the summary of ionic compounds. Next very important concept, that is the conditions required for the formation of electrovalent bond. We know that ionic bond requires transfer of electrons. One atom loses its electron and another gains electron. Now let's study some of the conditions required for the formation of ionic bond. Okay, so first one is ionization potential. So what is ionization potential? So we have studied that it is the amount of energy required to remove outermost electron, valence electron, from an atom. We know in ionic compound one atom has to lose electron and another has to gain electron. So one atom should have very low ionization potential and another atom should have very high ionization potential. So two atoms should have a wide difference in their ionization potential. So the first condition required is there must be a wide difference in the ionization potential of two combining or two bonding atoms. Then, if you see the periodic table, we have studied how ionization varies across a period from left to right. As we move from left to right across a period in particular period, the atomic size decreases. We can see here atomic size decreases. So when we move from top to bottom, the atomic size increases. So when we move across a period, atomic radius decreases, so ionization energy increases. As we move down a group, atomic size increases, so ionization energy decreases. So the first condition is there should be a wide difference in the ionization potential of two combining atoms. Second condition is electron affinity. It is the amount of energy released, right? It is the amount of energy released when an electron is added to the atom. In ionic compound formation, one atom has to lose electron and another atom has to gain electron. So the atom should have one atom should have very low electron affinity and another atom should have very high electron affinity. Again, there must be a wide difference in the value of electron affinity between two bonding atoms. So that is the second condition. So in periodic table, when we move across a period, in a particular period, the atomic size decreases, atomic radius decreases as we move from left to right, so electron affinity increases. Similarly, when we move down a group from top to bottom, atomic radius increases, so electron affinity decreases. So this is what the second condition required for the formation of ionic compound. Then the third condition required for the formation of ionic compound is the electronegativity difference should be large. What is electronegativity then? That we have studied. It is the tendency to attract. It is tendency to attract shared pair of electrons towards itself. So in ionic compound, one atom has to lose an electron and another atom has to gain electron. In order to do this, two combining atoms should have large difference in their electronegativity value. So when we move across a period, atomic radius decreases, electronegativity increases. When we move down a group, atomic radius increases and electronegativity decreases. Now, see here, it is very important. The metals generally have low ionization energy, low electron affinity and low electronegativity. I repeat, metals generally have very low ionization energy, low electron affinity and low electronegativity. they belongs to group 1, 2 and 13. Non-metals, they have very high ionization energy, high electron affinity and high electronegativity value. Hence they belongs to group 15, 16 and 17. So the type of bond formed between metals and non-metals is always ionic bond. So the metals of groups 1, 2 and 13 have a tendency to lose their valence electrons. So they combine with the non-metals of groups 15, 16, 17 which have a tendency to gain electrons and thus form ionic bond. So in periodic table you can see the elements which belong to group 1, 2 and 13, they are metals. They tend to combine with non-metals which are there in 15, 16, 17 and by doing so they form ionic bond. So the metals, they belongs to group 1, 2, 13, they have tendency to lose electrons. The elements which are belongs to group 15, 16, 17, they have tendency to gain electrons. So when these two combine with each other, metals and non-metals, the resulted bond is between them is always ionic bond.